Good evening. Homelessness and panhandling are issues that are front and center in St. Augustine. And right now, the City Commission is talking about the causes behind those problems.
That's right. And the city manager is presenting a plan to help the homeless and try and reduce the amount of panhandling in downtown St. Augustine. First Coast News' Jessica Clark reports on the plan and explains why the problem seems to have grown.
Panhandlers are becoming more visible in St. Augustine's busy tourist areas, sleeping in the City Plaza gazebo and begging along the streets next to visitors. Also downtown is the St. Francis House, St. Johns County's only homeless shelter.
The issue is really much larger than simply what you're seeing downtown.
Judith Dombrowski runs the St. Francis House.
Not everyone that is panhandling is actually homeless. I think that homelessness and panhandling are two entirely separate issues.
St. Augustine City Manager John Regan wants to reduce both. But first you have to know why there is more of both. The shelter's director says there are more newly homeless people because of Hurricanes Matthew and Irma.
Because there is a lack of affordable rents, that the places that they were able to afford were damaged, and then they were asked to leave so landlords could fix things up. And of course, once things are fixed up, the landlords can get higher rents.
That left some people without places to stay. Also, the hurricanes damaged the homeless shelter itself, leaving it working at about 2/3 capacity. So fewer beds are available for right now. There is a city ordinance which says that nobody can sleep in a public area like the plaza in the nighttime hours, but it cannot be enforced against anyone who has nowhere else to go. For instance, if the homeless shelter is full. Meanwhile, panhandling laws are hard to enforce.
Some issues from the legal side where courts have ruled against cities from being able to enforce panhandling law.
So the city manager is proposing a plan to encourage visitors not to give to panhandlers, drying up their money source. Because people aren't doing that.
People are contributing to panhandling, and we've studied other communities around the country, and that's a key principle, is to discourage panhandling, but if people want to help the homeless, how to do that appropriately.
And that comes back to places like St. Francis House, which plans to expand the number of beds and find ways to get homeless back on their feet, but not if they are panhandling.
The guests that stay with us, it is written right in the rules that they not panhandle.
In St. Augustine, Jessica Clark, First Coast News.